Hello, fellow plant enthusiasts. Welcome to Cactastic. Today, we have a fun and informative video for all you succulent lovers out there. We're going to repot and discuss a succulent known as Adromischus marianiae. I'm not aware of a common name for this plant, but I'm starting to think about what common names I could start using for it. Feel free to share any suggestions that you may have. This is the herrei form, which is a population of Adromischus marianiae with these very rough leaves that look a bit like dried raisins. If this plant was getting more sun, the leaves would be a darker red color instead of the mostly green that we see here. These plants are native to Little Namaqualand, which is in the Western Cape and Northern Cape provinces of South Africa. This geographic region is known for its many interesting plants and amazing wildflower-filled landscapes in August and September. Interestingly, this plant is quite variable and comes in many different forms. The herrei form is quite a beautiful succulent, but not too common in cultivation, as I've only seen it a couple of times. I purchased this particular plant just over a year ago at Poot's Cactus Nursery here in California. It did recently flower, and you can see the flower stalks still on the plant. It had tiny green tube-like flowers with pink petals at the end. They were quite small, but still very beautiful flowers. Now let's get started with the repotting process. I've chosen this interesting log-shaped pottery to repot the Adromischus in. I'll take out the drain plug so that water can easily drain from it. This pot has quite a small area for soil, so it needs a small plant that doesn't require a lot of space for the roots. I think the Adromischus will work great in this size pot. I also have set aside some well-draining succulent soil and some top dress gravel that I'll add at the end. And of course, I have my Adromischus, which is ready to be transplanted. I'm carefully removing the succulent from its old pot, being careful not to damage the roots or leaves. You may need to tap the pot's sides or gently use a twisting motion with the plant to loosen the soil, but I was able to get this one out fairly easily. I'm going to put the plant in its new pot and assess if I need to add soil at the bottom to raise the plant to the top of the pot. This one seems pretty good, so I'm gonna add some fresh soil around the plant. This is also a good time to remove any dead leaves from the plant, as it's the easiest time to get to them. There are a couple shriveled up leaves on this plant, so I'll remove them now. I'm going to finish filling the pot with soil, but not fill it all the way to the top. I saved a little room so that I could add some gravel over the soil to dress up the pot a little bit. And here is our newly potted Adromischus. Since this plant is now done flowering, I'm just going to remove the old flower stalks to clean up the look of the plant. And like most succulents, I won't water right away after repotting to reduce the risk of rot. I'll give the plant a week or so to acclimate to its new pot and to give time for any wounds on the roots to heal before I water. I'm still getting to know this plant, but it seems to like water in both the spring and in the fall, which are the times of year that this plant grows. But it needs a bit of a rest in the winter and in the summer when the climate is at its extremes. It's now September and we're getting into fall here in the northern hemisphere, so I think it will be a good time to transplant this plant. I think spring would also work well, but for the best success in transplanting these plants, I would avoid transplanting in the winter or summer unless absolutely necessary. And there you have it. We've successfully repotted our succulent, Adromischus marianiae herrei, giving it a fresh start and room to grow. I hope that it takes to its new home and puts on a lot of new growth and has lots of flowers next year. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel for more succulent care tips and gardening adventures. And as always, I would love to hear from you in the comments section. Thanks for joining us today, and I hope you have a cactastic day.